All righty, the stage is set for another District 18 showdown. The crowded field of candidates gets a lot smaller in just moments. The latest on the contenders coming out of election night. Plus, early numbers show that voters did not really care much about this year's midterm election. Tonight, we'll explore why there's been so much voter apathy in the air this election season.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
All righty, here we go. Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Election night has finally arrived and the results are in and it's official. Texas' 18th Congressional District is headed to a runoff. The seat has been left vacant following the death of Congressman and former Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner. Tonight, we have reaction from the two leading contenders, former Houston City Council member Amanda Edwards and Harris County Attorney Christian Menifee. We begin with Fox 26 Houston's Randy Wallace from Menifee's headquarters.
It was a big night for Christian Deshaun Menifee. Remember back in 2020, he made history. He became the youngest person to ever become Harris County Attorney and the first African-American Harris County Attorney. Well, he did extremely well tonight. Out of the 16 candidates running for District 18, he came in #1.
This campaign was never about any one of you. This campaign was never about Christian Menifee. This campaign was about the family out in Fifth Ward that is having trouble filling their stomachs because President Trump and Republicans have now cut SNAP. This campaign is about the family out there trying to figure out how they're going to get a family member life-saving treatment because there have been paperwork requirements added to Medicaid that now take away their health care. This campaign has been about the communities like Acres Homes where you see little kids walking in the middle of the street to a corner store because they have no sidewalks and no grocery stores in their communities. There's something to be said about seeing people and the issues that they're facing and basing your campaign around them and not around yourself.
The runoff is expected to take place in January. Isaiah, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Randy. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle is also standing by with an update from Amanda Edwards' campaign headquarters tonight. Sherman.
Yeah, Isaiah, the momentum pretty high here with Amanda Edwards and her campaign team as they are pretty confident that when the final numbers are tallied tonight, they will be in a runoff with Christian Menifee. Spoke with her earlier and talked about the fact that just a year ago she was vying for the Harris County Democratic Party to pick her as the candidate for this congressional district to run in that election that former Mayor Sylvester Turner ended up getting and winning. And she says that she's just been dedicated to the work, dedicated to the district, and to the work that needs to be done in the district. And I can't forget to mention that she was once a staff member of the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. So she is saying that she's going to find a way to keep her legacy alive while also creating her own and just taking out the time to fulfill the needs of District 18.
You know, this is the ultimate story of perseverance and hard work. This road has not been an easy one. It's been one with many challenges and unexpected twists and turns, but you've got to stay the course. If the mission that you are pursuing and the mission is about the people and what they need in this community, then that will allow you to stay the course. And that's what it's been. It's been the community that has fueled me to this point and will continue to fuel me forward should we advance into the runoff, which I believe we will.
So again, Amanda Edwards and her team feeling pretty confident about walking away tonight with a runoff. They are anticipating a race. We're talking about a dead heat between these two candidates. Both of them have about $1 million in their treasure chest. We'll see if they put it to good use. Reporting from Main Street for the Isaiah Factor, Sherman DeSalle, Fox 26 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Sherman. Once again, there you have it in a runoff for CD 18. We have Amanda Edwards along with Christian Menifee. And of course, we will have more. Don't go anywhere. We have more election analysis and results on the other side of the break. But before we do, a live look from New York City, where Zohran Mamdani has won the city's mayoral race. Let's listen in.
From the work of remaking a long broken system. We refuse to let them dictate the rules of the game they can play by the same rules as the rest of us. Together, we will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves.
All righty, that's in New York City. We'll have more results from across America next. You're watching The Factor Uncensored. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Continuing coverage of election night here in Harris County and across the country. A runoff is set for Congressional District 18 between Christian Menifee and Amanda Edwards. So after tonight, what can we expect? Joining us for our discussion, political analysts Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld with Shea Jordan-Smith and University of Houston Professor Dr. David Branham. So Dr. Branham, your thoughts about the election tonight when it comes to CD 18?
Well, I think we've clarified who the top two candidates are, and they did emerge. And a lot of it is, you know, you can see it in the fundraising, you can see it in the campaigning. Now, Amanda Edwards has got a kind of a tough road to hoe because she's probably going to lose by, you know, more than a couple thousand votes. So that means she's going to have to make up some ground. The good thing is she's got 500,000 voters sitting at home who didn't vote this time.
Yeah.
And so she's got a target audience. So I think, you know, she's going to have to hit the ground running and go. But right now, Menifee has the upper hand.
Shea, are you surprised by these results that we're seeing tonight?
I'm not. I mean, we expected it to be Menifee and Edwards from the beginning. At least most of us did, I feel like. I am intrigued to see how some of the other candidates fared. In regards to those who were very loud online, I don't want to give any names particularly, but
you can. This is a Factor Uncensored.
See, the thing is,
are you talking about Yolanda?
I'm talking about Isaiah Martin.
And Isaiah Martin.
Isaiah Martin, who only pulled in 4%, but you were talking all this online to me and a lot I congratulate you.
It's
I congratulate you.
That's what we're talking about. So you got your shot in.
I got my shot in.
Dr. von Biedenfeld, your thoughts about the election results?
I think it's what we've talked about this entire time, and of course, Dr. Branham and I generally agree that Menifee had a stronger shot, even though I was surprised that it wasn't a little bit more narrow with Amanda Edwards. We did expect for this to be a runoff, and at the end of the day, it's really going to be tough because a lot of the individuals who polled, just like we saw in New York and like we saw with Ross Perot, Dole, and Clinton, these independents now get to throw their support behind a candidate, and probably Menifee is going to attract it.
And of course, when we think about these candidates, both Amanda Edwards and Christian Menifee raised over $1 million. I think Isaiah Martin was number 3 with about 700,000. Yolanda, are we surprised that Yolanda, who's a regular here on The Factor, is not on that list in a runoff?
I'm not really surprised because as a state representative and as a former school board member, she's had a core constituency that she's really devoted herself to. And that devotion, it hasn't really went outside of that. So she has supporters who will support her to the end. The rest of it, she's going to have to work for it. I don't think she had quite enough time to get those people on the outside to come in, especially with the funding for her campaign not being what it was for the others.
And do we think, Shea, at this point, it's important to Amanda or Christian to get endorsements from the other candidates in order to boost?
Well, I was at a few parties tonight, and I did hear rumblings of other candidates planning on endorsing the top two candidates. So that definitely will happen. Will they need it per se? It's neither here nor there, right? They know who they have to go after and get, so that's really what they have to focus on going forward.
And your perspective when it comes to endorsements, Dr. von Biedenfeld?
I think this is going to be very necessary for Amanda Edwards. She really didn't pull it out the last time she was looking at this race. Christian Menifee is a newcomer, so when the precinct chairs, and this is something we spoke about, had the opportunity to select her initially, they went with Turner. So at the end of the day, she's got to really pull some endorsements and get some of these boots on the ground into the polls not just the money, because that was one of Jelanda Jones' problems is she may have a core constituency, but a lot of those people aren't big donors, and she's not very vocal, and so some of those big donors may be hesitant, where they're much more comfortable giving to a Menifee or an Edwards.
What we have seen around the country in elections where Democrats have been elected tonight, younger, more progressive, in the case of New York City, socialists, do any of our candidates in CD 18, the two top vote getters there, fit into any of those categories, or they're traditional Democrats?
I would say they're more traditional Democrats, but I don't think they mind going to the left. I don't think they mind identifying with people like Ocasio-Cortez, or it's kind of the trend right now. It's part of the polarizations that's going on between the Republicans and the Democrats. They're getting further apart. You can see with the government shutdown how far apart they are, and this is going on in this campaign as well. So I think Christian Menifee would be proud to say that I'm over here standing with Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez and so forth. So I think that polarization is actually occurring, and it's a trend that we're starting to see.
Will the title of progressive Democrat hurt or help either of these candidates?
I think in the 18th it definitely will help these candidates. I think the way that the 18th is changing and growing beyond being just that staunch Democrat and moving more left, not leftist, but more progressive. So it definitely will be a benefit to them going forward.
And Dr. Von Biedenfeld, what do you think they have to do to set themselves apart to get it to the finish line?
That's the toughest question because they have so many core demographic similarities in age, education, and experience. I think the biggest thing for Amanda Edwards is to show that she can be a fighter. I think Christian Menifee has emphasized his legal background, and that's been a major distinction in this race is people emphasizing their experience more than just their demographics and their willingness to go to bat for democratic causes. And I think for Christian Menifee, he's going to have to show that he is more than just talk and that this limited experience as county attorney can compare to one of the most popular vote-getting city council members.
And really quick, do they have to raise even more money now to set themselves apart, to go to TV, to go to radio?
They can't raise enough. They need to raise money like crazy, and because money is really counts in a race like this. When you're talking about $1 million, $1 million will carry you, but it's not nearly enough to carry you through a few more weeks that they have to go on this race.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll continue this discussion after the break. Stay with us here on The Factor Uncensored. It's election night.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It's election night here at The Factor, and more key races we're watching tonight. Houston at large 4. First of all, guys, your thoughts about that. Let's look at the screen there. Dwight Boykins, 23%. 21, I can't even see with my glasses. 16% and 10%. So your thoughts about that?
I think this is a really big race for Alejandra Salinas. She came in second here, but I mean, Dwight Boykins had a clear name advantage, name recognition. And so she came in. If there is a fundraising machine in this race, it's her. She can raise some funds. She's already got over $500,000. It's her that has the momentum. So even though she probably is going to lose tonight, for him to stay ahead is going to be very difficult.
All right, Shay, your thoughts about this at-large position?
So Dwight has the name ID, Salinas has the money, and Jordan has the wherewithal and the ability to actually do the job correctly and properly, in my eyes, my opinion, right? But what I think that Dwight Boykins is why he's doing so well, it's because this race was tied to the 18th. He was previously over District D, which is in the 18th district. I wonder how he's going to fare come the runoff when it's just only them on the ballot and not that 18th congressional race. I'm curious to see how he's going to fare going forward.
All right, Dr. Von Biedenfeld, your thoughts?
I concur with both the assessments and think that Salinas has the long haul because this money is the momentum.
All right. And of course, we want to show some quick numbers, new numbers for District 18, Menifee at 32% now. And Edwards is at 25% as we stand. Jones is at 18 and
Carmen Montiel
19%, and the last candidate is at 6%. And of course, we still don't have a majority vote of.
Is anybody at 4%?
This dude here.
Anybody at 4%? Anybody? 4%. That's all you got? That's it?
Glad we gave you a seat. And of course, we're talking about the propositions as well. Proposition 3, which would allow judges to deny bail to those accused of committing certain crimes, including murder, aggravated robbery, and of course, aggravated assaults. And we have 63% for and 29% against. Your thoughts about that, Dr. Branham?
I think if you go to popularity, then the popularity contest will always be to keep people accused of crimes in jail. People are afraid, and people see it on the news. It makes the first news story that's on when it happens. So I think it would have been very difficult for any opposition on this to overcome the public opinion.
All right, Shay, your thoughts about that?
No one is reading these propositions all the way through, right? All the there, thou, whereas, therefore, people are just hitting yes or no. It's easier just to go down and hit yes, 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 as opposed to figuring out, okay, these three I'm hitting no,
How
and then
dangerous
yes, and
is
then
that, though?
I mean, that's the nature of how they're written, right? They're written in a way so that the everyday person just has no idea what they're reading.
But you do need 2/3 of both the Senate and the House to get these on there.
Okay.
So you do have bipartisan support. So it's unusual for them not to pass.
All right.
Absolutely, and I don't think people read them. I think generally people accept them, and they're written in a way to encourage people to accept them. So just like polling questions, they can be sort of leading questions on what do you like? Do you want criminals in your backyard or not? And it's like, well, that's not really the question, but that's how it's written. So I don't want criminals in my backyard. Check.
All right, and here, take a look at proposition number 4, which would direct $1 billion a year in sales tax revenue to fund for the state's water supply. As you know, the population here in Texas is growing, and there's some concerns about that groundwater. And here are the results. Those for 71% and against 29%. Is that a no-brainer to help with the infrastructure?
It should be. I worked in water production for 19 years. Subsidence is a problem with groundwater. Water supply is a problem. We need to invest. And if this state's going to stay thriving like it's been thriving, we have to invest billions of dollars into our water to make sure that we have it.
All right, Shay, let's go to proposition number 12. We'll let you start with that one, which would change the makeup of a judicial oversight panel. Your thoughts and the purpose of that?
I mean, my thing is who's going to be on this panel, right? We see it's going to happen, but my thing is, based on the state that we live in, we know it's not going to go in the favor of the people, right? It's going to go in favor of the people in power. That's my only issue with this. It's passed. It's what it is. What it's going to be. We have to figure out a way for us to fight it if it ever comes down to it.
And of course, you had that same concern last night when we talked about the proposition. Who will the governor and lieutenant governor put on these panels?
Absolutely, and this is the reason that why even the current majority leader in the Senate is hesitant to go against the filibuster, is because today it's somebody you like, but tomorrow it may not be. And so when you can appoint the majority of individuals overseeing judicial conduct, that's a lot of discretion to say, you know what, that judge, by putting these people in jail based on these factors, we're not going to punish them for it. Or we don't like what you ruled, and we are going to punish you for it.
All right, in the last 20 seconds, we have Proposition 14. It would establish a $3 billion fund to benefit research on dementia. Your thoughts about that?
We live right here with the medical center. We are at the top of the world when it comes to medical research. This will continue it. If we can get some real headroads into dementia, Texas will be a star state, and a lot of people will live a lot happier lives.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Still ahead tonight, remembrances for former U.S. President, Vice President rather, plus the government shutdown reaches another milestone. Those updates on the other side of the break. Stay with us here on Election Night. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It's election night here, and before we go, we have one more look at the results. All eyes have been locked on Texas's 18th Congressional District, and that race continues. The 18th Congressional District is headed to a runoff. The candidates there between Christian Menifee and Amanda Edwards. You see the numbers right now so far, 32% to Menifee, 25% to Edwards, and of course, now to the Houston at-large 4 race, where Dwight Boykins is at 23% and Alexandra Salinas is at 21%, and they will likely meet in a runoff unless something obviously changes overnight. And we're probably won't see that. Now to Proposition 3, which would allow judges to deny bail to those accused of committing certain crimes like murder, aggravated robbery, and of course aggravated assaults. And people voted for that overwhelmingly, 64% for that. Moving on to Proposition number 4, which would direct $1 billion a year in sales tax revenue to a new fund for the state's water supply. A lot of people have been talking about that because of the growth in population here in the state of Texas. Will we have enough water in the future? And this is for infrastructure, and people voted 71% overwhelmingly for that as well. On to Proposition number 12, which would change the makeup of a judicial oversight panel. And here's where we stand. 65% voted for that. 35% voted against it. People are concerned who the governor and lieutenant governor may put on this board to oversee those individuals. So we shall see. And of course, we want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored for another great program and the latest we have on election night. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night, where we will have Amanda Edwards and Christian Menifee here live on The Factor talking about this runoff and how they will set themselves apart. And don't forget to follow us on social media, and make sure you check us out on our new YouTube page at the Isaiah Factor Uncensored. Have a great night. Thank you, guys.